Hello, everybody. Jay Delvecchio here with Ram, and I appreciate your time. Glad you're here. I think we've got a very good one here on advanced options, really for beyond fundamentals, as it says right there. As we go forward here, I want to remind everybody that the quiz will follow for everybody attending the event today. It will follow 6 hours after, and then you have till Monday by 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to complete it and send it in to get your free 1 CEC credit, with you getting 8 out of 10 of them right. So that should be easy because everybody's focused. I know you're very good people at this, or you wouldn't be trying to expand yourself and be better at your profession. So, and going to the next slide, I wanted to share our sponsor of the event. We try to bring these guys in once in a while after we vet them a little bit. And I know everybody needs web design and different things. These guys, that's their specialty. That's what they work on. They're the sponsor for today's event. And we appreciate them being involved. So going forward, let's hit it. Kettlebells, beyond fundamentals. Ram, it's all you, my friend.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you for the invitation. Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Hope your week is going smoothly. Here I have just a short intro about myself. I may know some of you, even if it's just remotely through another webinars. So I'm adjunct faculty at Kent State University in Northeast Ohio. I have been a personal trainer in private practice in the greater Cleveland area for over 20 years, working primarily mainly in the strength and conditioning area. In the last years, I gradually specialized more with clients with some type of orthopedic conditions and those who have been released from physical therapy following a surgery or injury. And by the way, I know that I'm aware that I do have an accent. Jay is used to it now, but I may not know some of you. So please, let's make sure that our communication process goes effectively both ways. If you do not understand something that I said, although everything will be in the slides that are available to you, you will not by all means offend me. Just click and please repeat. Make sure Jay will be keeping tabs there, and so we can stop. I want to make sure that the communication process flows well both ways, okay? So moving along here, so kettlebells beyond fundamentals, this some of the learning outcomes here. So we are really going to focus on 3 of the movements that some of them are more familiar, like swing, the movement pattern, and how apply regressions and progressions for clients of varied skill levels. Then windmill, its movement pattern, and the regression progressions as well. Okay, and the get up, aka Turkish get up, its movement pattern. I know it's a more complex movement, and how to apply regression progressions for clients of varied skill level. Okay, so we have here our learning outcomes. So moving forward, then, just this is that an advanced course, but just to make sure here that a fundamental component on kettlebell training is really its use as a tool to work the entire body as a functional unit. So unlike bodybuilding protocols, please, I'm not here to bash bodybuilding protocols. It's just that it's different. It's not saying that one is better than the other. They are different. The goals are different. Okay, so bodybuilding protocols, they isolate muscle groups and train them independently. Kettlebell training takes a more athletic approach, so treating the body as a full functional unit. So how kettlebells differ from dumbbells? Okay, so in kettlebell, if we notice our center of mass, so we have here center of mass, the weight the ball extends well beyond the hand, whereas in a dumbbell, the weight is in the hand, not in front. Okay, so this spacing between the center of the load and the kettlebell handle allows for swinging movements that release and catch the kettlebell, such as in some progressions or swings. The design also allows the kettlebell to sit against the arm and body in almost every exercise, so there's more contact. This gives greater leverage to the loads, with more parts of the body in contact with the kettlebell itself. Okay. If I'm going too fast or too slow, please let me know. So now going for, it's very obvious, but just in case, different kettlebells and barbells. The best way, I think, to describe the difference between a kettlebell and a barbell, note that we cannot swing a barbell between our legs. Okay, just think about it. Don't try it. Okay, of course we can swing a kettlebell between our legs. Swing may be the most popular kettlebell exercise that we notice practitioners getting into it. So because we can swing a kettlebell between our legs, we can activate and exercise to greater effect what in athletics we call the posterior chain. So all those muscles in the posterior there. So our hammy, glutes, erector spinae, lats, so really that posterior chain dial up itself. So in terms of mobility warm-up, of course, properly preparing the joints, muscles, and tissue for kettlebell work is crucial for an effective workout and staying free of injury. I'm not saying that we are going to maybe prevent injury, but at least reduce the likelihood of injury. An effective warm-up that includes joint mobility exercises will ready the body for the demands of the kettlebell movements there. So there are several movement patterns that we could apply here. I select here basically just 5 of them. So around the body pass. So Jay, please let me know how is the distance here. Is it okay here?
You froze up a little bit. You're up kind of close, but it froze up.
Any better?
Oh, yeah, now you're back unfrozen. And let me share with everybody, that looks good. I can see you from the waist up, by the way. Everybody, in case you're not familiar, everybody knows Zoom, this, that, they're all a little bit different, right? If you take your cursor, assuming you got a computer in front of you, phones, it may be a little bit more difficult, but if you take your cursor and move it over the picture in the bottom right-hand corner, you can enlarge the picture of Ram when he's demonstrating, or if you go in front of the slides, you have the same thing in the bottom right-hand corner. You can click it, it'll expand and take up most of the screen so you can see the wording or his demo a lot easier, a lot better for you, and then reverse it when you want to. So just keep that in mind. Okay, Ram, all you.
No, great, Jay. Thank you for clarification there. So here, so we have here the around the body pass. So if you get your kettlebell, the horns holding with both hands in front of you, and you just dig your shoulders down and back. So, and you're gonna literally just go the kettlebell around your body, and typically go a minimum of 5-6 reps each side here, alternating. Some prefer to go a higher number of reps, up to 10, 12. That is perfectly fine. Okay. The goal really to start unpacking those shoulders there. Then move into halos that you're going to hold in the kettlebell with it so bottoms up, okay, holding by the horns, okay, and you're going to rotate the kettlebell around in a lateral view. And you're going to switch opposite direction. Again, the number of reps will be very depending on your program. Okay. For the great exercises for shoulder mobility, we can loosen up. We know our shoulders are a mobility-based joint. Then for your heels, you can switch for chest open. Bring your shoulders down and back like if you're trying to pinch your shoulder blades together. Roll back, open up. Okay. We know nowadays several of our clients, hours in front of a computer, okay, that prolonged forward-leaning position. So chest openness. Let's open up these guys. Okay. Then from there, we can go for our hip hinge and or good morning. So our basic loaded, if you have your kettlebell, again, behind on your scapula, not on your neck. And feet hip width apart, and we are going to hip hinge. Hip hinge and up. Okay. In a lateral view, so again, the hip goes back flat, hinging, and return. If you have a beginner or someone with a very poor mobility, honestly, forget about the kettlebell. Go without the kettlebell. Just work on that hip hinge you have. Because if you get someone that really have not the best of the hip mobility, they might be prone for that kyphotic process to round the shoulders, to round the back. We don't want to already start loading the kettlebell there. Go without load, unload it. Okay. And last on this list, but not least, our reverse backward lunge with a twist. So if you imagine we are coming from a lunging position, stepping back, and just twist. Get that thoracic rotation. To make it even better, flex your glutes on that leg, the rear leg, to really, you're going to activate your glute, help to stretch more the hip flexors. And so that we know nowadays, people spend a lot of time that's prolonged sitting. Okay? Not a good thing in terms of hip function. Also, really make sure that you're going to give a good stretch here, lengthen those short-term hip flexors, quadriceps, lats, give a good rotation. And you're going to alternate legs, okay, going for the prescribed number of repetitions. Okay? Are we okay in terms of this preparatory movement and lifts? Please click there so we can know, so we can move on to the next one. Are we okay there, Jay?
Let's see, I just got a question. Can he quickly re-demo chest opener?
Sure, absolutely. So chest opener, okay, you're going to kettlebell by the horns, bring behind your body. Here we are. Bring your shoulders down and back. Imagine that you are trying to pinch your shoulder blades together. Open up that chest. Okay. So hold. You are using the weight of the kettlebell to help to bring your shoulders down even more. Yeah. Use gravity to our advantage. Okay.
Good.
Are we okay?
Good. And I want to remind everybody, I'm monitoring the question box, but you can unmute yourself at any time and ask Ram to expand on anything, any question.
Absolutely.
Well, so
absolutely.
We're colleagues, and feel free to talk to him. The man is here for you.
Yep, absolutely. Please feel free to unmute and so we can communicate here. So can we move forward?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, here. So here we have a description that this is available to you. I put one slide here with a more detailed description of each of these preparatory movements there. So you have this available to you for what Jay informed me for some time. Now I would like to check here in terms of this exercise that we have here. How many of you use this with your clients? You're familiar. So we have there box squats, hip drives, a box squat jump, and a sumo deadlift. So please, if you don't mind, just go in. Can we do this manually, Jay?
Well, let's see. I've got a question real quick if I can. General
Sure.
question here. Can dumbbells used singly or held as a pair be used in lieu of a kettlebell? That's from Scott.
Question. I have here for your dumbbell with the kettlebell. The main difference that you're going to see, if we see, for example, one in terms of heavy objects that we move, that we carry during our day, imagine like a heavy grocery bag, a suitcase, the weight is on the bottom, not nicely balanced on the sides. So in that point there, I go kettlebell 1-0 there. In terms of the movements, you see that if you go to execute, for example, a swing, they're going to get there. How we hold that bell makes a big difference. The rotation there that allows us to dial up, okay, the volume, the rep count there. Anybody that has worked heavy with dumbbells and or barbells, we know that the weak link there is our grip. Eventually, our grip goes. And imagine a heavy deadlift, okay, special pulling movement. Basically, because of the weight side by side on a dumbbell, the grip, the hand has more load there. A kettlebell, you are holding a kettlebell right. We know we are here. Oh, my fingers are weak. You don't have to be holding a kettlebell hard here. Wrist is neutral. The bell is touching the forearm here. Bicep. Your grip is resting here. So this allows you are doing a high rep count of swings, of cleans, okay, allows to do this, which that with a dumbbell, if we relax there, that dumbbell may fall, okay? So that's why it's not exactly the same effect, okay? So in my point of view, and if you talk, I believe, with professionals, do I use dumbbells with my clients as well? Yes, I use, okay? But for certain movements, and we are not talking here about kettlebell sport, okay? It's a totally different approach there. But several of the movements, we can go, the swing will be a major one from the get-go. That even if you hold a dumbbell with both hands like this, okay, the load is not the same, okay? Did I answer your question, Scott? Are we good there, Jay?
Yeah, he says thank you. Yes.
Oh, great. So in terms of this exercise there, Jay, did we get a sample there of this exercises there that some of the attendees use them with their clients?
Excuse me, I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
When you were demonstrating the rotation, would we be holding a kettlebell? Because you weren't holding yours when you were rotating from the side to the other side. It was the last. Yeah, you were not holding the kettlebell.
The reverse lunge.
You had just finished the hinges. Let me see if I can go back to the.
Yeah, the reverse lunge is for 2 minutes.
It was the rotation move where you were standing and moving to the side, but you didn't have a kettlebell in your hand.
Yeah. A reverse lunge is twist, no kettlebell, no unloaded.
That was my question. Okay.
Unloaded. Yeah, because of here, you want to really emphasize the rotation.
Okay.
The rotation.
Thank you.
We typically we incorporate this type of movement pattern because there are so many people that have really tight, overactive hip flexors and quads that this is a helpful one, even unloaded. Okay.
Okay, I've got a couple here. Let's see. Marion has. I use all four with her clients in group exercise classes. Okay, and could Ron please go back a few slides to show the written instructions for the around the body pass? Now, what I'll say for that, Tim, is that you're going to get a copy of this webinar recorded when you're done. So we want to keep staying on track because I know everybody has clients at different times. And so we set an hour, we want to try to stick to it. So, but you can go back yourself later on and freeze it up and copy them, use them, do whatever you need to, because that's the whole idea of sending you a recording. And again, that'll come in 6 hours after this is all over. Let's see, we've got another one here. Would a barbell hip thrust be considered a hip drive exercise in this case? I use hip drive and sumo deadlifts. Okay, yeah.
Okay, good question. Yeah, barbell hip thrust, it is the movement pattern, and is also closed chain. The issue is that imagine that in a barbell hip thrust, we typically need a bench. So imagine that you are in a group, how many benches you need, the logistics for a one-on-one or a two-people session that may work well. We are talking about a small group training or a larger group. That won't be really something doable. The hip drive within will be that RDL movement. That if we imagine is based the movement pattern that we would have on a swing. Okay? So that would be your hip drive there.
Yeah.
That we can do from a standing position.
Okay. Makes sense.
Okay.
Okay. Michelle also says, you know, for the clients that I use the kettlebells with, I primarily use hip drive followed by box squat and sumo deadlift. I have not used the box squat jump as often as my clients are older. Yep, that makes sense too. Okay.
Well, but let me play something here, especially with older clients. Okay. My oldest client is 83. Okay. The reason why, let's stop and think here, ladies and gentlemen, okay, as we age, okay, there's a controversy. Do we lose the function on the fast twitch fibers first, then slow twitch fibers? Okay, or we lose the function because we don't use them. Okay, we know that older adults, one of the biggest factors is falls. You don't want fall is a very dangerous thing. Okay, so if we go and you have a box or a chair, if you prefer. And you mentioned here your box squat. So we did here our box squats, right? Chair seats, if you prefer. And what we want here with the box squat jump is basically activate those fast twitch fibers. When people fall, they don't fall in slow motion. We have to get our older clients to reaction time. So I do use, and I see a lot of other trainers working with older adults, okay, working with plyometrics, but just the volume is very low reps. People have problems with high volume, too many reps, especially on knees and hips that already don't have as much cartilage left there. We have to manage what we have there, okay? So we do use the box jump with older clients too.
Can I ask you to move your camera down, the angle down a little so we can see more of your lower half?
Sure. Let's see here.
When you're doing it, the strip, there you go. That's
Better?
great. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, we're seeing about from your knees up, just so you know.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Perfect.
Yeah, good. And actually, I've got Bonnie mentions in regards with her older clients and squat jumps, she just has her clients go up on their toes if they cannot jump. So.
Well, definitely activate your calves there, but not necessarily. We do want to get those fast twitch fibers working there. Okay. So imagine the person is tripping. That's reaction time. So this, even if they can only go up a couple of inches, that's fine. Yeah. Okay.
Good. Okay. All right. Well, that kind of covered,
okay.
I think, some of that slide. Yeah.
Okay. Very good here. So we have here the movement. So those all the regressions that we went here for the swing. When we got in the swing here, so if you imagine here, that during the swing, the power is really being generated from our glutes, hamstrings, quads, deltoids, and abdominal muscles. So the ultimate core, okay? Core exercises, every muscle that is attached to our pelvis is really our functional core. So swing is ultimate core exercise there. It is not a simple shoulder arm raise with a kettlebell, okay? And there should be no tension in lumbar spine. Okay? So we are really working on this hip hinge, so our glutes, hamstrings, quads, abdominals are really stabilizing and generating the power there. Okay. In terms of the stance, our feet should be at least shoulder width apart. Okay. There are some that prefer a wider stance, so I'd say typically play around and ask the person, okay, which stance the person feels more comfortable. Some go wide, but typically we would go at least shoulder width apart. Okay, because those are all hip dominant movements. We are going down, the feet are too close together, there's no room for our hips to go. Okay. One interesting cueing that I like to do with some clients, pick up the kettlebell, flip, and push the kettlebell against the abdominal wall. Push hard, that will help engagement. Okay? You're going to imagine that they're being punched there, that will brace. We do need that bracing effect there, okay, help to maintain neutral spine. Okay? And we really want to focus on that hip hinging pattern and in that hip thrust. So really hip lockouts here. Sometimes we see the person is stopping the movement here. Lock out the hips. Okay. So moving along here. So we have here, different progressions there. So you have your basic two-arm swing. Okay. So we got in. So two-arm swing, that will be your basic start. Okay. A progression that you can do if needed. Okay. I apologize. They asked me here because of the type of flooring to the towel. For the two-arm towel swing, I put a breakdown slide, okay, with the step-by-step for the two-arm towel swing. That basically what all that you do, you pick up a towel and you're going to thread the towel through the handle. For the person that is two-arm dominant, the towel swing will basically force that hip thrust motion, so that in a way, as it described, when the kettlebell and the arm, they're parallel to the floor, horizontal plane, that kettlebell will be weightless. Okay, so the towel swing is more like a proactive exercise. Okay, and the breakdown there, I apologize, they asked because the flooring to don't do that here. Okay, I want to do other webinars from here too. So, following one that you don't need another implement like a towel to do is you progress for the one arm swing. So we have here, we have two arms, now we swing for the single. And for the single, you can swing to the hand to hand. And we are really emphasizing that hip hinging, so that process, hinging, okay, is a hip dominant exercise, okay? You guys, so here I have a breakdown, and again, as Jay mentioned, all these slides, they are available to you. Okay, with a break, then you're going for the towel swing, one arm swing, and the hand-to-hand swing. Okay?
I have a question here for you. From
Sure.
Tim, can Ram give an example of pushing kettlebell against abs as part of the swing.
No, not part of the swing. This is a prep. You are priming your body to activate abdominal musculature. You get your kettlebell, and you're going to push that kettlebell against the abdomen. This is not a part of a swing, okay? As you place there, that's just to emphasize that bracing. Several clients have a hard time in activating abdominal, highly inactive. That, as you push, for several people, that external force will really prime those muscles to activate, okay? But it's not, of course, a part of a swing. Okay?
Yeah, he's got it. Thanks.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
yeah. Okay.
Can you repeat the arm towel swing? I did not get that.
The towel swing, as I mentioned there, it has a breakdown, detailed slide about it. The facility where I am, they ask to don't use the towel swing because it's a hardwood floor, okay? And the towel, since it's a longer handle, it can damage the floor here. My kettlebells, they are steel, they are iron, okay? So it has a breakdown in a slide that is available to you. This slide that is available to you, you can review that, but basically what you do is you thread a short towel through the handle of the kettlebell,
Okay.
and you hold the towel instead of the kettlebell. Okay?
Okay.
You have this explanation step by step on the slide.
Okay. So basically, you're making it a longer lever arm. Is that the point?
Correct. Exactly. Yep. Exactly.
Can I ask you one more question?
Yeah.
Have you ever had, God forbid, an accident with clients who may have dropped in between swing? Because it looks a little dangerous.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand one part there.
The hand swing, it's a little scary to have your
Oh,
clients.
no. If it drops, no, I have not seen that happen. The one that's a professional swing that I placed in a couple of slides, that's another one that you have to be a little more careful. The towel actually makes it easier for the person to hold.
Yes, I could see that with the towel, but from the hand-to-hand swing, you have to make sure you
But
get
again, this is a progression. We are not going to do it at the beginning.
right.
This is a
Of course.
progression. We're talking about progression.
Right.
We are not going to do a hand-to-hand like something like this here. Yes, the person has to have the training. Okay,
Yes.
they are doing one arm swings for quite some time there. They know the movement better.
Right. Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. No worries. Okay, here. So we have here some typical solutions for some improper swing. Okay, adjusting the grip. That's a very, very common one. How the person is holding the kettlebell. You see the person sometimes holding the kettlebell like they are holding for their life, like they are holding a heavy barbell. The kettlebell has to be loose. Okay? Just cup on the wide shelf. Here, you don't have to be holding. Forearm is basically vertical, wrist is neutral. My fingers are wiggly here. You don't have to be holding here. That kettlebell is not going anywhere. You are going, even when you got in a clean, okay, that is loose. It's one of the differences that you have between kettlebell training and dumbbell training. Okay, the dumbbell, you're going to have to be holding their barbell, okay, the whole time with a great grip. We know in that lift, you are lifting that barbell roll, that lift is gone. I'm not saying that one is better than the other. They are just different. The material that you are using is different, so the technique will be different. So adjust the grip there. Adjust the weight and accentuate the hip drive. So we have here, for the grip, ensure the person is not really clenching that belt. There the palm of their hand. Fingers should be loose. Okay. Again, all these slides, they are available to you. Okay, for the weight. Many times our improper hip drive comes because the person is, the upper body is taking over. The person is trying to do a front arm raise. Okay, imagine our anterior deltoid. Even for someone that has a master shoulder, we are not able to swing to raise the load that would be appropriate for a swing. Okay, so a simple solution for that typically increase the load a little bit. You go for a heavier load, that you force that participant to really engage more the hip drive in a way that now they can't rely on their upper body. They have to really maximize this really strong posterior chain exercise. Okay? And here, to accentuate the hip drive, performing a band resistance or a partner-assisted swing will help to accentuate the hip drive. Okay, we know this is a hip dominance exercise. So have here, can you guys see this band here? This is a half an inch loop band that you can anchor. It can be a rack. Just anchor on something that's solid and that will not move. And that anchor point will be behind you. So you place the band on your hip line, place your feet exactly the same way that you have, okay, on your traditional swing. And then from here, the band will pull you back. And from here, you can execute the swing. But the band will accentuate that hip drive power. It's putting our hips back. Okay? Another way that you can use, but this will require a partner. Okay? For the attendee that ask about safety, again, those are progressions, something that we're going to do with a more advanced person. To accentuate the hips, you put it on the swing, your partner, and important here, safety points. I put a slide specific for that. Ensure that the partner is beside the person that is swinging, not in front. Just in case, okay, that grip goes. Okay? So the person is on the side. So I'm swinging here. My partner will be in one of the sides, not in front of the person that is swinging. And go here, as we described here, about 5 swings. Totally just a regular swing. At that point, your partner will push the kettlebell down. I'm self-assisting with you. Okay? And you should feel, basically, the force will change. The kettlebell is going down harder. Okay? So those are ways that you can accentuate that hip drive. Okay? But again, for the partner assisted, okay, we're going to shoot at the partner just in case, side, not in front. Okay? And again, both progressions, yeah, those are progressions from a swing. Okay?
Ron,
yes.
So at what point does the partner start pushing downward with the flat palm of the descent? Can you show exactly at what point, so that the partner is pushing down, so that what resistance is in terms of standing up, again for hip extension? I'm trying to understand where the
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you there.
Go ahead. Do you understand what I'm asking?
Yes. The partner will push down the kettlebell at the highest point. So when the arms are parallel to the floor.
Shoulder flexion at 90 degrees, correct?
Correct. Yes, correct. Yep. Correct.
So why the pushing down, how is that resistance?
Well,
I know.
because the partner will literally push down the kettlebell to increase the downward force.
So they're actually assisting the force downward and not
Yeah,
resisting.
yeah,
They're assisting the force downward.
yeah. The partner will actually push the kettlebell down. Yeah.
Can you get the same results if you use a heavier weight?
No, absolutely not. Because the heavier weight will increase the up force. Because
Yes.
this, you are basically, it's like if you are training more the negative, as we will do, it becomes a variable force there. Okay, if I have a 40-pound kettlebell, okay, you be 40 pounds in the upswing and in the downswing. I'm pushing down, okay, I'm increasing the force in the down phase, in the eccentric phase.
Right. Right. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. No worries, no, but very good question. Good question. Yeah. So that's why we use this as a resource. It's not to make any fancy. It's basically to, okay, how we can increase the intensity. Yeah. Okay. So we are here. Now we're going for windmill. Okay, windmill, okay, performing the windmill. The windmill is more a secondary exercise. And it has a breakdown in terms of the movement pattern. So windmills, you can have here the first for most people that I work with, the large majority, we start the windmill unloaded. Okay? Because we see that windmills, that the most common limitation factors there are a lack of shoulder mobility and lack of hip mobility. So if you have, and I break down in a later slide, if you pick up a shoe, your client comes in, okay, don't mind, Mrs. Smith, I get your shoe off and ask the person to make a fist. Got a shoe on the fist. Stabilize. Got a base, so turn the feet 45 degrees, feet wider than at least shoulder width apart. The bottom hand inside, arm extended. Look at that hand, and it's going to hinge. That shoe drop is a sign that the person is compensating the movement and doesn't have maybe the shoulder and or hip mobility to execute a windmill yet. Okay, and we execute the movement. And low rep counts, 3 to 5 reps each side, common being different from one side to the other. Okay, the person is able to perform the fist, closed fist shoe drill. Okay, now let's add a kettlebell. And you can start with a light kettlebell. If you are training kettlebell, this is only 10 pounds. Again, clean, press. Press the bell, light exposed to you, adjust the stance, hinge. And look at that movement pattern, okay? But a lack of mobility, shoulder and hip are the most common ones. Okay? Something that you can be, and it has a breakdown the movements here. Okay? Common mistakes that you have there. One is the person trying to do a side bend. That hip has to move to the side. It's not just the torso moving, the hip has to move. Okay? Breakdown here. In the windmill can be regress and progress, depending on where you notice that your client has that weak link. Okay? So I mentioned here, okay, in terms of the shoulders and hips, okay. The windmill itself is a great way to improve this. Okay? Some severe shoulder mobility. So we know some people have a very tight shoulder. I have a few clients like this. A good strategy to use is that you pick up the kettlebell, put the shoe on the top hand, like we did here before, and you're going to hold the kettlebell on the lower hand, so you make it a little easier for the person to go down the extra load. And now, this works really well for the group that have a really, really limited shoulder mobility. Okay? So we are loading that low arm. Okay? Okay, here, we mentioned here the shoot drill. We already broke down. Again, typically we go about 5 reps there. Okay, progressions. Okay, we know we have there. You tell the rack position. Can use 2 kettlebells if it's available. Okay, the 2 kettlebell, I'd say, I would try to stay away at first of the windmill curling. Windmills are not a PR exercise. Don't look in a windmill to, okay, I want to go really heavy here. No, it's exercise that's more in terms of great for mobility work. Okay, think about more, you have your swing is your main course, the windmill will be your dessert. Okay?
I'm sorry, Ram, I didn't understand when you're saying at the end, the windmill will be what? I couldn't catch what you said. I apologize.
Okay, no, I mentioned just that if you think about the swing being the main course on your dinner, the windmill will be your dessert. Okay?
Dessert.
It's not exercise for PR. Okay? We really want to work on the mobility factor. If the person doesn't have the mobility to execute a windmill, an unloaded windmill, don't put a load there yet.
Right.
That person is not ready yet. Once they got their mobility, there are some clients that after a couple of sessions in their closed fistula drill, they can do that and it's no problem. Okay? Some other ones may take a little longer. Okay? But no extra weight on the load on the top hand will fix that shoulder mobility. That
Right.
has to come first. Okay?
So would you say that the windmill, once you have the correct mobility, is really but is strengthening the trunk musculature?
Strengthen a lot. A lot for stabilization.
So that the
Get
focus?
yourself in a loaded windmill, you're going to see everything here is working at the same time.
So that would be the purpose of it, correct?
I'm sorry?
That would be the purpose for using it. Or are you using it?
Yes, correct.
Are you using it?
No, it's a great strengthening exercise, but it's
Yes.
not an exercise that you're going to use a lot of load. Okay? You're not going to use that same load on a windmill that you use in a swing. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, and then last but not least in our list here, we have our get-ups, aka Turkish get-ups. So the history, I placed here a history on it. Basically, some of you might be familiar, 200 years ago, they basically is believed that by researchers that was used for wrestlers, okay, fighters like in the Mid-Asia region to be prepared for competition. Okay, and here, so you have that breakdown. It's a very complex movement. That's why I broke down these slides step by step on the phases of a get-up. Okay, because I know that might be something difficult for a time constraint to cover everything. Okay, but this is the ultimate functional training. Because if you imagine, it follows basically several of our primitive movements. Imagine in terms of early childhood development progression. Rolling, roll over, prop up, kneeling, eventually stand up. Okay? That's basically the movement pattern that we follow on a full get up. That we can perfectly break down the get up in these phases here. So that it has on your slides here. So get up to be performed is low. Okay? Roughly about 30 seconds per rep. That's why our rep count will be very low too. we're going to be probably, most clients, we go one at a time. Do one rep, right side. Okay, great. Now go one rep, left side. Feels good. Add one more rep, alternating. And honestly, tops 5 reps each side. Okay? Take quite some time. Okay? So it has here a breakdown in terms of basically a lot of like shoulder mobility, stability, rolling movement, core stabilization, leg drive, the bottom of the get up we see, we are coming that lunging pattern, pretty much like a split squat. So there's a high level of lower body strength involved. Okay? Great ultimate training for older adults. Okay, if you fall, you have to be able to get up, even if it's just one time. Okay, so this here I broke down here. The get up phases here is step by step. Okay, I know that we will not have the time to go cover individually this year. By putting the slides for you guys, you have access to this, I believe, for forever there. But as long as Jay allows there, he breaks down each from picking up the kettlebell. That we know that we have to pick up the kettlebell with both hands, not with just one. Okay, on the ground. Okay, go for your pressing phase. So it has the breakdown of all of them there. Okay, then going on the body roll to the press. Okay, from the press, then we go for the elbow to hand post. Then we have our high bridge strip. And here, by the way, I don't know, but with that, all of you, at least most of you, already work with kettlebell for some time. I know that you have this variation, that is the lunge variation, and you also have the squat get-up. Okay? That for those of you that have been working with kettlebells for a long time, Pavel Tsasulin, that really brought kettlebell to the US, early 2000s. If you look at the ancient kettlebell video tutorial that he had in the book, he basically said that first as they squat get up. And then with time, their variations, honestly, most of my clients have a really hard time doing the squat get up. They go more for the lunge variation. But saying that one is right, the other one is wrong, is what I have noticed that from day-to-day experience, this being a variation that people can execute more fluently. Okay.
I'm sorry,
How are you doing there, Jay?
can I ask you something? I'm not so familiar.
Sure, absolutely.
I don't work with kettlebells much. Are you going to show these steps, or we're just going to read it and figure out the positioning?
This is a kettlebell, beyond fundamentals. I'll be more than happy to do another webinar on kettlebell basics for the ones that are not very familiar with kettlebell. Okay, but this is, I believe, what was placed as a beyond fundamentals.
Okay.
Okay.
Am I the only one that's not familiar with the 10 steps?
I'm sorry, I didn't follow you.
I know you went through the slide. You went through the 1 through 10 very quickly, so I'm not visualizing what the positions are.
Yeah. This is the slides. They are available to you, and they will be available to you. You can review the slides.
Okay.
Okay. Indefinitely there.
Sure.
Okay, but this.
I have somebody asking if we can demonstrate the complete get up.
Okay, we can. Let me lower here the screen here to the floor. Can you guys see me here?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. You're gonna lay hands on the side, cup the kettlebell with both hands leg 90 degrees. Roll, knee down, leg 45 degrees, arm 45 degrees. Okay. If needed, cup, put with both hands or with one. You're going to roll, not doing a crunch, roll towards the arm, elevate, so the arm is straight above the shoulder. Hold the hand, high grip. High grip, straighten the leg back, posture up. Okay? You are in a half kneeling position here, with the arm extended totally above the shoulder. Arm, bicep close to the head. At this point, you are going to just stand up, like if you are doing a split squat. Press up. Hand it, reverse. Step back. You are back in the half kneeling position. Pose the hand, arm up, swing. Leg forward, go back down, roll, and return. That's one rep.
Good. Good.
Okay?
Does that help everybody?
Yes.
Yes, that was awesome.
Yeah, great.
Good.
Good.
Yeah, I know there was a bunch of stuff here that Ron wanted to get in. This last part was a little bit quicker than we normally would do, but we can always come back and have a focus on some other things. But as the title suggests, it's beyond the fundamentals, but we were showing some other things in there, I think, to just kind of a teaser that there's a lot more out there and a lot of different things you can do in programming directions, depending on your clientele, obviously, and the goals you have and so on. Like he started there without a kettlebell, just to get him through muscle memory and understanding the balance and so on that goes with it, and then step by step from there. So I know Bonnie and Scott, Brittany, they're all saying, wonderful demonstrations. I appreciate it, Ram. And of course, everybody I know, just kind of a clarity here. You'll get the recording in within 6 hours after it finishes its processing, and then those that attended the event here, which was a bunch of you, so you'll get the quiz and turn it in by 5 o'clock Monday. So you got the whole weekend to do it in, and with 8 out of 10. You will get yourself a nice, fun CEC going towards your renewal. But more importantly, you've got some other ideas, some other tools here to work with your clients. And Ron will be back with us for sure with other topics. So if you have certain things you want to see, please feel free to throw it my way in an email, and I'll get that to Ram, and we'll work on something in the future. We've got some other great ones coming up here in December and in January already, but we certainly can work Ram in because he's a busy guy with Kent State as well. So,
Thank
And
you.
we will make it work. And I didn't mean, guys, to rush. Just want to make sure that we convey these three, and they are more advanced. The swing, again, is a more popular one. I know that the windmill and get-ups, they are more complex. So for the ones that are not very familiar with kettlebell work, that will be something to really, as Jay mentioned, as a teaser there. And there are progressions that we can go for your swing. Of course, we can go for your cleans, or clean to press, to snatches. There is a lot of more complex material that we can cover, and I'll be more than happy to do that. Just throw Jay their topics that you are interested, and we will be more than happy to go to that field.
Ram, for the Turkish getup, what would you say if the person who's just starting to learn that? What would be the average weight, other than the sneaker, that you would start with?
Just like a windmill, typically we start unloaded first.
I'm sorry?
Typically, we start unloaded first.
Unloaded, and then
So
5 pounds.
you can start with the same, the closed fistula drill. You can use that, apply that as well. So you are here. Let me change this here for you here. If we have time here, Jay, just want to make sure the cover.
Sure, go ahead.
We're going to start right from here. Unload it. You just show here again. And then at this point, work on the row and up. If the person doesn't have this here, the windmill will help with this. Okay? Once you post up in the bridge, high bridge, bring back up, extend. Okay? If the person is not able to do this up to this point here, unload it. I'm not worried about load this kettlebell yet.
Right.
Again, there are some individuals that they are able to get here in the first or second day. Some other ones, you will take maybe a couple of weeks. Okay, all depending on the skill level that particular client has. Okay.
Yeah, and
Did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
good.
Great.
We're about 5 minutes over. I do want to share one last thought, guys. It's just because one of our, Ruthie had mentioned it too. I mean, it's all about getting variety into your clients' workouts for effective use where possible, right? So if you're keeping their mind active, they're going to stay with you a long time because they love being with you and being challenged and learning stuff as they improve their bodies and their minds and flexibility and so on. So yeah, this is a great option that a lot of us probably overlook as we tend to favor what we know. So yeah, keep it in mind because you're great trainers and great ideas go a long way. So thanks everybody, and Ram, thank you. I really appreciate the details.
Thank
And
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you,
Have a
Jay.
great-
Have a great new year, everyone. Stay safe.
Ron.
And hopefully 2024 will be a great year for all of us.
Amen. Thank you.
yes,
Ciao.
bye everybody.
Ciao.
Bye.
Ciao. Ciao, you.
Bye.
Oh, bye-bye.